lot of satisfaction of bringing what's in your head to the physical realm. The first book that I ever got in the occult was a black magic book, and I always forget the author, but in that book there were a lot of spells and rituals and things to get, and there was like these archaic things that you were expected to get, you know, a raven's claw, a punch thistle. I just made up that word, but words I never heard of, and my middle school self was not going to be finding these items, not with my allowance, and not with, you know, like it just wasn't going to happen. At that point, you know, reading it just seemed like a practice that was archaic and old, that no longer existed, and what's the point of this? So all it did for me was the book itself was kind of plant a seed that, okay, this does exist. And then of course, as you go further, you start seeing it more and more and more. Then I come across books like Jambalaya, and then Jambalaya started to have more accessible items. And then of course you have the internet, and you see these people putting out spells, and once again, they still were a little weird, but more accessible items. Then I started to go into the botanicas, and they would have interesting things, but once again, I did not like the idea that in order for me to create something, I had to go to this place and buy this item because it's the only place I could get it, or I had to go to this, or I had to go to that. I like the idea that I could be creative using what's around me and what inspires me. And anytime, like if there's a ritual that I want to make right now, I don't have a doubt in my mind that I have every item that I need right here at my fingertips. And really, like the stuff always just like pops up. I'm like, oh yeah, I know where this is. I know where that is. Next thing you know, I have this bomb ritual. And then depending on where you live, a lot of times there are going to be things that are more natural to where you are. You know, like when you think about liquors, for example, if you want to use wine or spirit, if you go to a place like Panama, so if you're in Jamaica or Bahamas, I'm going to use the rum. Rum is super cheap. If you go to Italy, like the wine, super cheap. That limoncello, that grappa, I'm gonna use the grappa. The things that you know are right there, the things that feel accessible to you. You want to really find things that you have a slight connection to, affinity to, something that it pops into your mind and you're just like, and the next thing you know, you're having a great time. I want you to use your imagination. I guess I work with what I've seen. Everyone in my family has unique personality. So one person wants to be digging in the dirt all day long. One person that wants nothing of that. They're all about the books and working with knowledge. Another person wants to be out traveling and connecting. The way that each one might create a ritual is going to be totally different. So remember, I was raised with that kind of freedom. And so that means I do what feels right to me. Curve your stuff to what works for you and what you are connected to and what excites you. Magic.